if I sing a song or, Springsteen or any of these people, it's from some place. You can't, well, I believe in the faith that could save me. I believe in the love and the love that someday it may raise me above these bedlands. Like, that shit is like...
Dude, it's got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah, so my question is, where does it come from with you?
Nashville, known worldwide as a serious music city. We say, would it kill you to laugh a little?
Coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee, it's live from Little Hollywood.
Featuring Caitlin Cannon, Alice Wallace, Gina Barabash, Stuffy Schmidt.
This week's guests, Herb Williams and Paul McDonald. And now the hosts, Gina Frary Bacon and Scot Sax.
So nice.
Let the non-confrontational, politically correct, soothing sounds.
Isn't it great?
Of
I had
Sam
a
the
day
house band.
where I was like this, and now I'm like this,
Yeah.
blood pressure-wise.
If
so
I had my
nice.
way, I want Nashville to just have one day a month that's just instrumentals.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to hear about anyone's
Instrumental
feelings for
day.
like a frickin' second.
That should be a national holiday.
No
Instrumental
feelings, no thoughts, and no Angel of Montgomery. No offense. I know.
The audience, that hurts.
I know. I mean, why? There's other songs.
I think it's okay to have the feelings, but maybe not to express them to everybody.
Yeah.
One day.
I would like if we could swap, like, remember that movie Yesterday, the Beatles thing? That's a pretty amazing movie, but if it could be like that, but we swap Angel Montgomery for Afternoon Delight, and all the really
It's a different vibe.
serious singer-songwriters, do that, everybody's like, yeah, man, they know music.
That's a very different vibe.
love
but
that
yeah,
song.
lighten things up a little bit.
My humps.
My lumps, my
lovely lady. That's a cancerous. My lumps.
Lumps are normally not a good thing, but I think
No.
Fergie was trying to put a good spin on it.
I'd be like, they should do an erotic version of that. I got lumps under my humps.
Maybe it depends on how old you are.
I know.
You might want to see somebody about
Yeah.
those lumps. Yeah.
Wow, sentences we didn't think we'd hear today.
Speaking of weird things,
Sally, that's going to be the headline of this show, okay? It was when Gina interjected that humorous riff she does about checking out your lumps.
Speaking of which, today I had the weirdest thing. I took a shower and I was combing my hair, and every time it touched my head, it sounded like it was hollow inside. My head, it was the strangest experience.
You do your own roast.
It was
I like that.
It was like a little coconut. I've never had it happen before. So I went and took a decongestant and waited an hour. And it got better, but it was so strange. I started to panic.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had encephalitis or something.
What's encephalitis?
It's when your head fills with fluid.
Oh,
it was really
that can't be
weird.
good.
It was like...
See,
really?
I have, when you get a panic attack, I get a non-panic attack. Like, I'm panicking all the time.
Yeah.
And then once in a great while, I get a relax attack.
A relax attack.
And I'm like so thrown off because I'm used to
What's happening?
panicking.
Yeah.
But
Does
I
that make you panic? When you realize you're not panicking?
I do have that thing where, like, everything's going fine. I wonder why.
Waiting
My
for
ear is clogged, so...
So tap your head. See what it sounds like.
I don't want to tap my head.
It's really weird.
Don't make me... She's making me tap my head again. You know what? A couple things that people always say, and I realize, like, their origins. And I know it's obvious once I say it, but pretend I didn't say it, and that you didn't know, and then I am the carrier of knowledge and interesting facts. Okay. Everybody in that mindset? Okay. Oh, man, last night I had a ball. That's from, like, ballrooms.
Oh, you had a ball.
But right?
Yeah.
People went to a ballroom. They went to the ball. Last night I had a ball. Okay.
Nice.
Number 2, I love elbow because it's like an L.
Oh, huh.
That's why they call it an elbow.
But that's...
100%. It's an elbow. It's the shape of an L. It is.
Maybe that's how you remember it.
Well, where is it from? The hell's an elbow?
E-L-B-O-W.
Why can't that be true?
I
Okay.
don't know. Now we need to
What
look it
about
up.
knee then? 'Cause the knee is just like a leg elbow.
I don't do that part.
That's the beer
That's a
talking.
lowercase elbow.
That's the beer talking house.
I don't know,
Sam.
yeah.
What is that beer you're drinking?
Oh my
today?
God, wait a second. Let's create a beer that actually talks. So when they say that's the beer talking, and then you can be like,
It's
she's
really
right. Because when I'm too drunk to talk, my beer does the talking. And they could do little come on lines.
You could do that with a TikTok filter
Yeah?
with the little mouth in there.
Yeah?
Yeah, we could do Sam's voice behind that. Delicious.
Let's do it. Can we get a Sam the House Band beer? Can we look into that, Sally?
Wow, that
What
was
is
amazing.
that? I see that looks like the Smoky Mountains on
Yeah,
there.
so it's the Highland Brewing Pilsner. It's really good. Golden and crisp, so it says the brewery, but
Golden
yeah,
and
it's
crisp.
from Nashville or Asheville, North Carolina. I always make an extra point to enunciate the ash.
Yeah.
Instead of Nash.
'cause
Nice
I have-
ash.
Yeah, because I mumble and stutter, so I feel like people are like, oh yeah, Nashville, North Carolina. I'm like, no.
I can't believe it. Why don't they just have Pennsylvania? It's so stupid. It's that stupid. Like, dudes, like Dashville or
Yeah.
which one was first?
I would probably assume Asheville just because it's closer to the.
I would guess
coast.
that too. Yeah.
Nashville is copying everything. Now we love Nashville. We love East
We do love
Nashville, especially.
Nashville.
The last one I want to say before we say who our guests are. You don't have to break the bank. That's like the little piggy bank
The
where you
break-
have
yeah.
to break it. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Our guests. This is a soulful.
This is a great
And I don't
show
like
today.
when people say it's really soulful. It's like you don't. When you have soul, you don't have to say it's soulful.
That's
It's
right.
like bluesy woozy. You just
It's
are.
for other people to feel and
Yeah.
decide. Yeah.
But let's just pretend we're other people for a second.
Okay.
It's a really soulful show. There's a lot of, and there's no,
If we do say so
and it's
ourselves.
yeah.
Even though we haven't done it yet.
We're about to.
We're about to.
Tell the people who is on.
Crayon artist Herb Williams is here. He brought a giant donut made of crayons. We're going to hear a lot more about that.
And I was so psyched because he said we could start in on it. I had a couple bites. It's unbelievable. It's so good. I mean, it's like a little waxy, but it's pretty good.
I think we've all tried crayons. Did you eat a crayon when you were a kid?
I'm
maybe.
sure. Sure I
Maybe.
did. Glue.
Glue, all the things.
Yeah.
Erasers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have Paul McDonald.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter, performing artist. What a great show. It turns out they know each other.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Small
definitely a great example of the uber creativity that we are enveloped in. And that
In
is the beer
Nashville.
talking. Because I have never used enveloped in my life. We'll be right back after whatever happens next. Sam, take us away and then bring us back.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Well, good. You finally did it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of
I
you.
know. It's not easy. It's not easy. But you know what? I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her.
You do. I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. Now, just remember, if a girl walks up to you,
Uh-huh.
just tell her
I
you're
got it.
engaged.
I'm engaged. The
You're
magic
engaged.
word is engaged, and then that gets. She's not gonna hit on me. I'm not gonna hit on her. That's the magic word. I got it.
Turn right away.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
I'm sorry. I'm engaged in conversation with a lovely lady.
Chet Baker, inspired by House Band Sam.
Yeah, we're talking about Chet Baker. That's the kind of talk show we got. Talking about Chet Baker.
We don't have Chet Baker, but we talk about
But we have House Band Sam.
Sam brings that
I
vibe.
think heroin ended up having Chet Baker.
Sadly.
Too soon.
You make love to Chet Baker. You make decisions to Miles Davis.
Right. That's a really good quote.
Again, it's the beer talking. I like this beer. I say things I don't normally say. Wow. I also want at the bottom of a bottle, when they say, well, the answers aren't at the bottom of the bottle, let's put answers at the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, that's good.
You know, like.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Or the-
Yeah.
All
So,
signs
the
point
magic-
to.
Yeah. Magic,
so the beers do the talking, and the bottles do have the answers.
Look who's here. Herb Williams is
I
here.
know.
So happy that you're here.
Since you couldn't have Chet Baker.
So happy that you're here. You work with crayons.
I do. I still play with crayons.
Or do they work?
Crayons.
Do they work for you, or do you work for them?
Yes, they play with me. Now,
yeah, I'm 50 years old this year, and I'm still playing with crayons. Yeah, I get them in 50-pound cases of 3,000 of a single count, and I'm one of the only individual wholesalers in the world.
You have a deal with the Crayola company?
I do now. Yes.
Yeah, how
yes.
does that, like, at some point did they just get a hold of you and go, dude, what's going on?
Absolutely.
Really?
Like, that's exactly what happened. After a few years of me experimenting and buying lots of crayons and getting other people's orders, like so many people's orders, by mistake.
And always Crayola, right, you said? Yeah.
Well, they're the best. I mean, like, it's the smell, really.
There's something about that smell when you crack open the box.
You know, it's quality.
I wish they went, psh, if they could get them to go, psh.
Again, that's the beer
Crack
talking.
one, that's the crayons talking.
Oh, wow.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Let's write a book.
They all have little voices.
Oh, man.
If the crayons did talk, what would they say?
Oh, man. They do.
Well,
they
sort
do
of
speak.
did
Like,
in your dreams,
like,
right? That's
well,
I think we need to
have you
show the
heard of
audience.
synesthesia? Like, it's
Yes.
a real,
It's
color.
Let's give the audience just an idea of what we're talking about here. This is like the smallest piece I've seen that you did because I was at your studio.
Yeah, so this is like chocolate with sprinkles.
Wow.
So cool.
So,
It looks like chocolate.
but, you know,
Feel free.
what Jimi Hendrix,
Do what you gotta do.
you know, Prince, they've got this condition called synesthesia where
Yes.
you hear a tone and see a specific color.
Yeah, and you see auras and yes.
Yeah, so I
Close it
think,
up.
you know, color can communicate and stuff. But I mean, I love how it looks like,
Yeah.
you know, rhinestones in a different way. But I'm still playing with them because, I don't know, it always turns out differently than I'll expect it to.
What you said about rhinestones, it's like, why can't crayons be valued like rhine? It's just all made up.
Absolutely.
I think that you definitely, I mean, I didn't even know what to say to you. I feel like I didn't even have to say anything to you when I met you because I'm like, there you are. You know, somebody that
Here
makes me
I am.
feel a little less alone in the world because, right, we made our own world, I guess. Or
You kind of have to make your own, like to follow your own dream and make things that make no sense to anybody but yourself until finally people are in your dream going, oh yeah. You know?
Now, this did come to you in a dream, right?
It did.
Let's
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah.
And how long were you? Well, let's talk about how long were you playing with crayons before somebody paid for something you created with crayons?
Wow. Well, I mean,
And did your girlfriend dump you before, during, or after that?
oh man. Well, I mean, I did almost lose my family through it. You know, like it's just like you throw it. You know, anywhere.
Any sort of extreme art thing that people don't understand, maybe they think you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting.
Until they see you're really crazy, they really don't take you seriously.
Yeah.
You know, so I made all this art for years, just
Always crayons.
no, never crayons. Like searching for something unique. You know, and like I compare it in Nashville to be. Like every great musician has their own style or voice that sets them apart from everybody else, and you know it when you hear it. And it's the same with the visual, the art world. You know, if you don't have something that somebody can immediately recognize, you're going to get lost. And I searched for years and kind of drove myself crazy and was so angry and dark and starving that, you know, it got to the point where my young wife at the time was like, look, you just need to give it up or give us up and go get a job at Starbucks. You know, it's not worth it. And yeah, it's tough out there. And
What kind of art were you doing at the time?
it was made of every different material I could think of. That was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Like a mixed media?
All mixed media, sculptural. Like I grew up as a carpenter, so I wanted to work with my hands. I used to.
So it's physical. It wasn't drawings of things. You made things,
Right.
And then took a photograph of them, or
You'd take a
displayed
photograph of it to show other people, but I'd have a physical sculpture
So it's a
of
sculpture.
something. But I used to work at a bronze foundry down in West Palm Beach where I learned lost wax casting,
cool.
and
Yeah,
you know, oh man, it's so
That's a
exciting.
very
It's
cool
like
process.
it's like walking on the surface of the sun, you know. And in West Palm, oh, it's brutal because it's so hot, and then you get this bronze dust in your skin, and nobody tells you this, that it reacts and causes you to itch uncontrollably, and it turns your sweat blue. It's not for the faint of heart.
So if that happened to me, I would just complain. But you turned it into a vocation.
So I finally, when I came back around to it, like I had to try everything and throw everything against the wall until I gave up. And that one night I drank like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels, and I burned a lot of my art, and I had the most vivid dream I've ever had. And in that dream I saw one of these sculptures in crayons, and luckily, I had the sketchbook by the bed, and I woke up and wrote it down. I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's like divine intervention or just probably your subconscious working out what you can.
It was in there. It was
there
just
any
waiting to come.
crayon thread? How did the crayon thing come from? Like just from the dream, or
in the dream? I mean, it was very involved. That's a whole other interview.
Okay.
Like we could go for a drink, but it's
we're at the drink.
Okay, right.
We don't have
in the dream.
We don't have to go anywhere. We're here.
It's just so crazy. All right. Well, in my dream, the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, where I had been to several years earlier and seen a retrospective of Keith Haring, really impressed me. I was like, this is unreal. This is what great artists can do. And so in my dream, they call me up on the phone and they, Mr. Williams, we love your work. We want to give you a retrospective. And I'm like, awesome. What is it that you want from me? Finally. And they'll tell me. They didn't tell me. They said, no, we just want to see what you do. And so I make all this stuff, and it doesn't show me making it. It only shows me going to the show, and in the show, I open the doors, and there are hundreds of iguanas walking all throughout the entire museum, but everyone is made out of a different material. And I have to go like, wood, stone, steel, clay, concrete, all these traditional materials until crayons. And I wake right up, and
Crayons was the answer.
Crayons woke you up.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's like
It's
almost
really crazy.
like a Greek myth, like that is such a cool
It
story.
is true. Like, guy goes up on the mountain and comes down with some huge revelation.
Jeremiah Johnson had it figured out.
Oh, I love Jeremiah Johnson. It's such a quiet movie. What with
He
the
had the beard
snow.
too.
That's what I
love it.
that's what I tell people every time they ask about the beard. I say I've been
Jeremiah
hanging up
Johnson.
on the mountain.
I had
Jeremiah.
a dream 2 nights ago, and in the dream I went into some kind of multimedia kind of thing where it's like it's a cafe, it's a bar, it's like a library where people are like taking up books or listening to stuff, but a lot of cool people in their 20s were like listening to headphones, but you didn't hear any music because everybody was listening to headphones, but they were all listening, I didn't realize, to the same thing in the dream because I was sleeping. That's the thing, you're sleeping while you're dreaming, sort of. So I go in there, and everybody at the same time, clearly like the chorus of whatever song they were listening to. And it's like, just picture those, those long tables in libraries, those nice marbly tables where people are like reading the thick books. And everybody starts going like this. And they're singing something. And in my dream, and I'm like, wow, there's a big hit song right now. Everybody's flipping over it. So I Shazammed it in my dream.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And it comes back, and the song was called And it had a picture of a girl like listening with headphones. So I've been working on that song ever since because I can kind of remember how it went.
Oh, that's amazing. So that might be your new...
Wow.
I think it's probably going to be the next single. And it's been really... You have to get to it. I mean, the next day after that dream, what'd you do that day?
I mainly wrote... I think I began like buying crayons. Like I went to different stores, and I was like, well, where do I get? And I got all different kinds, trying to find out how I could get, because I didn't realize there are 9 crayons per square inch. So
wait, what does that mean? Oh, when you buy the thing?
In a sculpture of mine. So
okay.
So buying a pack of crayons, there's only one color of that one color in a pack of any of them.
I see what
so I'm
you're
like,
saying. Yes.
This is maybe stupid.
You can't
this is
say,
so expensive.
Give me 3 packs of yellow.
If you want all brown, you have to buy.
You can
100 brown
if you
packs.
call Crayola, and if you get them to specially make you these, which is how eventually we got to talking, and I became a wholesaler. And now I've got, come over to my studio, I've got 500,000.
Yeah, so I discovered Herb and his studio when I was visiting Andy at Drum Supply House. Because I was like, what's going on over that place? That looks like something cool. He's like, oh, Herb, you don't know her? Everybody that I said something, they're like, oh, Herb, you don't know her? I was like, no, I don't know him. It's like that thing, Rome wasn't built in a day. I always want to go, well, how long was it built in? How long did it take to build Rome? I know it's not built in a day. But can you tell me? That would be a good answer at the bottom of the bottle. Yeah. We found out it was built in 3 weeks.
It's 7.2.
How much time do we need?
Yeah. So I went in there and I'm like, it's blown away. And we'll get some. We're going to see some footage from there. But I was like, you're going to be on our show. It's pretty amazing.
Want to see some more.
Thank you so much. This was great. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, we're going to welcome George McIntosh to the bookshop to read one of his favorite books, and he's one of our favorite authors.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Thank you. It's a privilege, pleasure to be here. Thank you. It's a real page turner, this one. Whew. I don't write them like that anymore. No, sorry.
Out loud?
Oh. I can't. I'm not research. I can try that.
Audience that we have.
There's so many people back there. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're a hit. What can we say? Paul McDonald, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You are probably the sharpest dresser we've had so far.
Well, I was planning on coming over in my pajamas, but I texted you guys first.
I'll bet your pajamas are pretty glam and rad, too.
Yeah, I'll bet that's true.
They make David Bowie pajamas now, I saw.
I need to get some of them.
What are they? What do they look like?
The pictures of David Bowie.
Okay. Oh, with pictures.
There's only so much
like
you can
do.
Something he would wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think
That's
he
cool.
slept in the nude. I saw The Man Who Fell to Earth. Did you see The Man Who Fell to Earth?
No, I've never seen that one.
All right, we're gonna wear our David Bowie pajamas,
and
I'll put on Man of. I really want to have a party. Like I talked to like a lot of dudes, especially, and talk about this and that. I'm like, no, I never saw that. And they don't have snow days here. I grew up in Philadelphia. We had snow days where the world was canceled. I don't mean canceled the way. Oh my God, wouldn't it be funny if the whole world was canceled?
No.
Like things are canceled. No. Like the world is just, no. We're all inappropriate. The whole planet Earth's been canceled. But anyway, go ahead, Gina.
Was I going to say something?
I don't know.
You two were talking about having similar outfits, speaking of clothes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So you said you've got one of these.
I almost wore this exact same thing. So I found this piece and had matching pants as well.
Yes.
Only a few days ago.
Really?
And so my buddy posted something up online about it, and I was like, man, I better grab that before someone gets it.
Same color?
It's the exact same thing, except for she does embroidery, so there's a few embroidery pieces and some rhinestones and stuff.
Oh, is it, who's the embroiderer?
This was Jukebox Mama.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She just outfitted somebody who entered a best contest competition in some farm and tractor thing.
Oh,
and
man.
she made this shiny, anyway, beautiful.
It's beautiful work, yeah. She's done a lot of buddies of mine, just for their weddings and concerts and all that kind of stuff. And I went over there, and the jacket was a little big, and she tailored it within the day, and I came back and got it.
You know what, could she let it out again for when you're my age?
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Well, you guys could do some kind of duo.
We could do a swap, man. Like, by that point, you'll like
two ships in the night. I'll bring it in. And
I was trying to pound it, dude.
But you know what's really funny? A buddy of mine saw me with this jacket. Actually, it was I guess they're not doing anymore. Sally and George. It was Joel Timmons. Anyway, whatever.
Sally and George sounds familiar.
Yes, yeah. Shelby's she plays the cello. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Every instrument's this. He's blind. He's not blind. I was just throwing a little Braille humor in there.
Nice.
He saw me with this jacket, and he's like, dude, I have those pants, which is what you said to me, which is funny for a bunch of dudes going, I have those pants. Yeah. He had the pair of pants from his grandfather.
Wow.
And he brought it over, and they're the exact same size. And so I have the jacket and the pants.
You have the suit.
Amazing.
I know.
Dude, like you said, we should do a gig together where we're showing up. Mine will be a little bit more flashy with some rhinestones, but
yeah,
you could get those added.
You
He's
got
some jumpsuits with the bling on them.
Let's call it like Denim Envy.
Denim Envy. That sounds great, man. We could go do like 18 shows at South by Southwest. So with a band like that.
Yeah. We got to just pretend it's sold out.
Yeah.
Just got to start the lie early.
Trying to get to the gig.
Yeah.
Beating the traffic.
I took a nice walk this afternoon. I was. I had a bit of a tough day. My wife was on call all week. She's a doctor. It's 7 days in a row, and calls through the night. Like, she's a cardiologist, so heart donor. It's just, and she obviously, her job is, by far is way more difficult than anything I've ever done. But we're sort of without her for the most of that week.
Oh, yeah.
And we have 2 kids, 8 and 10.
Yeah.
So it's a little tough for me too. So I had to take a walk before the show today to just because
I drove by and I rolled down the window because it was time to be here, and I was like, "Hey, what you?" And he said, "I'm walking it off." I just rolled the window off and drove.
I had to walk it off. Yeah. But I had you in my headphones.
Oh, beautiful!
Nice.
And I was listening to it, and it was like. I was so glad it wasn't like Dan Fogelberg and that bullshit song. Sorry. What's that song?
You haven't heard the next record. It's heavily Dan Fogelberg influence.
No,
all covers,
yeah. It's all.
There's just
a Fogelberg cover album.
And I'm not a hater. I mean, I love ABBA. I love the Bee Gees. I love I'm not a testosterone-driven singer-songwriter. It has to be whatever. But something about those Fogelberg songs is just
My brother got me a Dan Fogelberg
What's that
album.
one song?
It grew on me.
Oh. Longer than. All the fishes in the... I can't do it.
It's pretty smarmy. Is that the word?
I don't know.
I've been hearing a lot of hate on Fogelberg lately. Is this like a trend?
No, I know. Oh, shit.
Hannah can't believe it.
Yeah.
No,
I love Dan Fogelberg.
Yeah,
anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't want Fogelberg at that point. It wasn't a Fogelberg moment. I've had Fogelberg moments.
That might have made it worse.
But that wasn't it. Maybe after Bloodshed, and I needed to just, be like, longer than all the fishes in the... But I needed... And anyway, your music is driven. You get to... I find there's a big difference in artists that are... There's just a difference in people that are driven, whatever their art is. There's something going, and they are driven.
Absolutely.
And it made me also wonder... if I sing a song or, Springsteen or any of these people, it's from some place. You can't, well, I believe in the faith that could save me. I believe in the love and the hope that someday it may raise me above these bad lives. That shit is
Dude, it's got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah, my question is, where does it come from with you? Because you must have used that voice in other areas in your life.
Of course. I'm not sure what stuff you were listening to, but it depends on seasons, and it's kind of whatever I'm going through at life, I'm processing and trying to understand what's going on. And music has always been my therapy and my release and me trying to figure it all out. And so if it's, the last record I put out, it's been a few years, was more of going through a transitional phase where it was coming out of a relationship and finding new life and that kind of thing. And so it was kind of processing what that was. And this next season of music has been all of the lessons and life that has been gifted to me within those years. And it's more... I think I realized when you're writing songs about heartbreak and that kind of thing that the audience also tends to, if you're writing sad songs, the audience tends to also be sad people that are coming to see you.
It draws them in.
It draws them in because they can relate to the sadness. Sure. And it was it was really nice for that first season when I was writing sad songs and I was living and breathing it. But then at some point in time, you know, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you escape that, and you go, man, I'm okay again. Like there's more than that.
You wanted it like a blood transfusion. You're like, can we get the sad people out and then bring the happy? Probably took like a couple tours to get a couple sad tours people out of there.
Yeah, I mean, for me to understand, like, you know, I'm suddenly a therapist. At the end of this gig, folks are coming up and going like, hugging me, and like, and it was like, all right, cool. What was I doing before this? It felt like my music was more of a celebration of life, and just more fun. And
it was all the songs that I listened to were intense in that sort of Springsteen-y way that I was singing, and you know, just as far as like, wow, he definitely means it, and it's intense. They were upbeat. There was like, they were rock, and that's a big deal with me too. It's just like, I get really slow songed out with the singer-songwriters. And you know, the most lauded singer-songwriters among them are Paul Simon and Bob Dylan, and they are both very driven by rhythm. And I find that is a forgotten part of the whole thing. It's a lot to ask somebody to stop and just tune into the meaning and the subject without any kind of like something to move to.
Get to move you to, absolutely. And if almost this next season, a lot of my focus is music that kind of brings like joy and positivity and the power of thought and certain things that I've learned along the way to the conversation, but also with upbeat, driven tunes. So all of a sudden, you know, you're playing a festival in front of, you know, 20,000, or well, for me, probably about 2,000 max.
You've got the song that you need. When you're on that stage.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But and it's all upbeat kind of stuff where you find people singing along, but then all of a sudden they listen back and they're reading through the lyrics and they're going, man, I'm singing at the top of my lungs to this chorus, but actually, like, if I pay attention to the words behind this, like, maybe it's giving me a different perspective on life and that kind of thing. You know, you're almost kind of luring them in with the jams, you know. But then there's depth to the music as well. You know,
I think of the music and rhythm as like the girl at the bar. It's the makeup and how she looks and everything. But when you start talking, you get to knowing the person. That's the song.
You
know, but something
interesting.
There has to the groove and the production of the music is the seduction part. It brings you, what's that?
Sure. Yeah, it's got to feel good. You know? I mean, I've always been attracted to feel over lyric, and a lot of times when you hear something, you go, man, that feels good, and then you kind of dig in deeper and you understand the lyrics.
That's the way I entered always. Were you a drummer first, by any chance?
Never a drummer, no, but I was just obsessed with music and
who was the first act that, you know, who were you really turned on to? When you were...
Fogelberg. I was about to give him that look.
That would suck. Like when you were, like 13.
13. Let's see.
I think that's usually like.
I mean, the first records I discovered, I think, was in my first concert ever was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which is still like one of my favorite. You know, I still always go back to Petty every season of life. I'll run it and I'll go back and listen to Tom
certain
Petty.
Records go with
that one kind of those always kind of come back
what's
around.
The ultimate wintertime record to you and the ultimate summertime record to you?
I mean, probably both Fogelberg, dude. You know?
Fogelberg, he's a four-season artist.
Hey, you started. Speaking of festivals, you started a festival called the One Big Love Festival.
I did.
That's awesome. That's cool. Just to help people that in music business that are just getting nowhere but talented.
I mean, pretty much. It's also a community-driven thing. I mean, this is an East Nashville podcast, and as you know, there's just so many gifted artists within this community, and so many are left of center, meaning like it's not teed up for the mainstream. But I'm drawn to authentic artists and very singular voices and individuality and that kind of thing. And I've always been the kind of character that's been a little left of center, and you have to work harder and pave your own way for people to pay attention to you, because you're not easily like, let's throw this dude in the system and turn him into a pop star. And in this neighborhood in particular, you just walk into the Underdog or D's or anywhere and you're going like, oh my God. Or you're walking into a house show and you're watching someone sit down and you're going, this is better than than so many of the stuff that I'm hearing on the radio and blah, 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 but it's all politics and all the thing. And so I thought, man, it'd be cool to get the community together, and instead of like, I've been here now for over a decade, but it always felt like a little bit of pockets. You'd go in and it was like, oh yeah, so like tell me about what tours are you on? What's like your Spotify numbers? It just felt a little bit like, man, that's gross, man. Like, why can't we just root for each other?
There's a certain level of things that's like that, yes.
Yeah,
but then there's what you're describing, which is a community of people that support each other and work together and collaborate.
I'd like to see them have the way, for real, the way they have Broadway, and we all know what goes along with that. It's fine, it's great for tourists, and some of the best, killer guitar players. I've been at Roberts many times in my life.
Great musicians
Roberts
down there.
in particular.
But I think it would be really great if some of these clubs, they're all sort of like you have to drive to that one, or maybe you could walk to that one, but it'd be great if at some point they formed a row, East Nashville's row.
Music row in East Nashville.
It's not, all you have to do is have the clubs within walking distance. You get 4 clubs within 3 blocks, and then we start a scene.
So check it out. That's just a great goal. We're going to manifest.
Let's make it out of crayons. And it's all made out of crayons.
It's all made. Dude, Herb does all the installations at all the venues.
Signal, nightshade, and milk thistle, a high as a dog whistle most of the time. In slow motion, a scene stealer, lies like a faith healer. Don't need a good reason, and won't even try. I could use you right here, baby. I could use you right here close to me. Cracked yellow, a line painter, a flea market, star sailor. Don't lose your kind way. Don't lose your mind, baby. Yeah, I could use you right here, baby. I could use you right here close to me. And I could use your light here, baby. I could use your light, Rosemarie. Don't lose your mind, baby. Don't lose your kind way. Don't lose your mind, Rosemarie. Heavy note bends over backwards to imagine a new dream. I'll sing a song for everyone and say a prayer for Rosemarie. Yeah, I could use you right here, baby. I could use you right here close to me. And I could use your light here, baby. I could use your light, Rosemarie. Yeah, I could use you right here, baby. Yeah, I could use you right here close to me. Don't lose your mind, baby. Don't lose your kind way. Don't lose your mind, baby. Rosemarie.